Here's Urban working hard.
Getting it, man.
Getting it.
Is it Thursday morning? Feels like Saturday.
It's Thanksgiving morning.
Fucking
What's
go.
up?
What are y'all thankful for today? Oakley. We got a couple hours before we feast later for Thanksgiving. Try to see what I can finish up. I started working on this dryer yesterday. It needs a good cleanup, re-grease the wheels, and a thermal fuse replaced. But we're not going to worry about that. I'm going to move these parts that go to it over. We're going to start pulling these three machines out into the sun. That way I can get them sanded and prepped up for a paint job because they all three need it. We're going to sand them down real good with the grinder and a blade. At least get them prepped for painting. Maybe get a coat or two on them. Get them painted pretty quick. That way tomorrow I can just focus in on one machine and that's all I need. That's all I need. Grinder. So we're not going to use the metal cutoff blade. I have some of these blades right here. They're actually like grinding away blades for metal. They should be able to get the job done fairly quickly, which is what I'm looking for, because these are powerful. I used these when we were doing the truck and the steel. Let's jump right into it. Grab some safety glasses, grab a mask. This gets quite dusty. I used to not wear safety equipment as much, but the more you do this, the more you realize you want to wear this shit. Even when it sucks and it's hot. Here, plug that in. Let this charge up.
While Alan's up at the shop painting his machines, me and my dad are gonna take a little trip down here and start working on something else. So we have this blue cable down here that we kind of installed to run water up from our main line down to our little shack down here in the woods. And as you can see, the water has basically left this whole hose exposed. So we're gonna dig a trench all the way down the length of this cable and get this thing back in the ground, keep it from getting damaged. So we've made a pretty decent dent in the job so far. We've got all this done and we're kind of working our way around this curve. 2 minutes making the job real easy.
Getting it done. Going through. Got both the dryers pretty much sanded down with the grinder. Any little spots I'm going to do by hand. This washer really needs a good cleanup. A little bit of sanding here. I'll do that by hand. Just needs to be wiped down real good.
And that's a wrap there. We basically went all the way around and completely dug that cable into the ground. Grab some cinder blocks and put it right in the center of this creek bank just to keep that cable from ever flaring back up in the future. Pretty quick job, quick 30 minutes. We're off to the next thing.
We got them all sanded down. Starting the first coat. All we can do is keep pushing forward. Who you're talking to, but all I know is watching you. Having some difficulty with the tips on these cheap spray cans. Since I'm gonna have to do multiple layers, I'm starting off with this cheap spray paint before I use my appliance epoxy for the final coat. But because it's cheap, of course I'm having trouble. There it is. You know, doing this so often, I'm gonna tell you, the red tips, any spray can with the red tips is always better than these black tips for some reason. I'm not sure. That's why I save them. Starting to put the final coat on this one. I got about half of it done. While these dry, I gotta finish hand sanding this thing. Cleaned up pretty nice. Still got a couple spots to clean up and paint, but all in all, this is gonna be the easiest. No. Love Chris Stapleton. Both the dryers have the final coat on them. We're gonna let them dry. They still might need a little touch up on the bodies, cleaning up, but as far as painting and sanding, we got that done. I'm gonna move it out the way. Me and Irvin are ready to go to Thanksgiving dinner. Like always, my dad's running late. He's not up here yet. I checked my oil again. I did add some of this heavy duty oil stabilizer, but we have some more space. I'm gonna go ahead and add some more. We got nothing else to do. Sounds like somebody's already shooting. We don't even need the funnel with this stuff. It's so thick. Perfect, right there, topped it off. My dad should be here any second. We satellited out to him, got him on the phone. Let's fire her up, see how she sounds. 23-year-old engine, runs like a charm, just like me. You know, the craziest thing about this car, I'll probably keep it forever. This thing was manufactured, it says it on the sticker, June of 2000, 0600. I was born 0800, August 2000. So it's like this thing was made for me. I'm gonna try to keep it running as long as I can. Let's get Thanksgiving going. Finally, 25 minutes later, my dad arrives with his Jim Beam cup. Having a little bit of Thanksgiving fun out here. Driving around this super cool and fast electric scooter. I just had my turn. I want one. Irvin's up next. And that's gonna be a wrap on Thanksgiving dinner. It was great, we had a good time. We're headed up the old highway. We got about 15 minutes to get back to the compound. Still gotta feed the dogs. Got a little Thanksgiving dinner snack for them as well. Some leftover turkey. So that's another wrap on today. We'll be back out here tomorrow.